Oh no, now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck in this orientation. I picked the phone up wrong and now I'm gonna be vertical on a horizontal medium. Oh no! Well, that's the way it is, I guess, because it won't let me change it. Oh well. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope you're doing all right. I'm just drinking my morning Diet Coke. I was gonna try something out a little different this time. Let me see here. I'm still in bed, but we don't have our AC unit in our room yet. Oh God, my back. And so we brought our mattress out into the living room where our AC, where we have like a wall unit. So we've been sleeping on a mattress on the floor because it's been like 94 degrees in Los Angeles. So I wanted to try something today because this week has been all about upgrading technology for me in the worst way. So I upgraded my phone and now I have two phones. So I'm wondering, I might live stream on Instagram while I'm live streaming on YouTube. Wouldn't that be crazy? Let me give it a shot. Maybe it's too much. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go live. Let's just see what happens. I don't know if it'll work. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to sit so that, oh yeah, it is working. Okay, so I'm trying a new thing, Instagram folks. I'm trying a new thing where I'm streaming our Sunday support sessions on both YouTube and Instagram. So we'll see if this works. Why not? I'm watching both, Rain. That's funny. Be amazing if it was just the same audience on both. We'll see. Now I got to set up my phone so that you can see me. Okay. Hi. Let's get to it. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's week? These are weird angles. I'm in bed, but I'm not naked. I made sure to get dressed. Sort of. How's everyone doing this week? Yeah, like I said when I first started, this week was full of tech anxiety and having to make some big purchases because I teach from home right now. Everyone teaches from home right now. Oh, you got 5% more rest. Yay! And you know, my technology just wasn't allowing me to do my job. And so I had to, fork over the dough and get some new tech. But it's way better now. So for me, it was just like a bunch of, Pakistan. Wow, that's amazing. For me, it was like a lot of logistic nightmares, which I'm sure everyone can relate to right now because we're all working from home in different capacities and it's hard. What do I teach? I teach at a university. I teach writers and production students, and I also teach piano lessons to little ones. Nice ceiling. Thank you. My back is still, I can't remember if it was hurting last week, but I strained my back last week, and so sitting in different positions, and I'm mostly better, but sitting in different positions, I guess I can hold both phones like this. This is very weird. Sitting in different positions kind of like can trigger the pain again. So I'm like trying to find a spot. I should do this before I start streaming, huh? The thing is I wake up at about 9:55 and I start this at 10. So, I've just, oh, that's hard, Marina. Any tips for surviving online school? Oh, it's gotta be so hard. So as a student or as a teacher? As a student, God, I think as a student, coming from a teacher, I would say just like be as transparent as possible with your instructors because, oh, that's funny. just be as transparent as possible with your instructors, because we're all doing our best right now and we don't really know how to navigate this time, and hearing feedback from you on like what's working, what's not working, what your emotional levels are, um, that's really useful. I feel yeah, online school is really, really hard. It's really, really hard. I think like yeah. I mean, that's a great question. How do you tell your professors or anybody in leadership that you're working under that you're having trouble meeting their expectations during this time? I mean, I think just framing it in terms of like, it's really hard to do higher level work when the bottom level of your hierarchy of needs isn't being met. And, depending on, yeah, that's great, Carla. That's great. Yeah, extensions. I really value the work. I see the value in what we're doing and I want to do it. I'm just struggling to do it during the time frame. Um, I think as an instructor, it always means the world to me when I hear that my class and what I'm doing is important to people, because I put a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort into my lesson plans, and um, if I feel appreciated and if I feel like that my students understand the value of the work, psychologically, I'm so much more disposed to want to give them more time, because it's not about my ego. It's not about like, oh, you didn't meet my deadlines. It's about, I think this information is valuable to you, and I want you to get it. And if that takes a little bit longer and you still get that information, that's a win. Um, that answer your question? For those just joining us on Instagram, I'm double streaming from HLG's YouTube channel, our Sunday support sessions. And this is where we gather and we hear each other and we support each other, just, you know, just with what's going on with COVID, and, generally has this sort of eating disorder bent to the conversation, but it certainly doesn't have to. And it's just, 15 minutes for us to kind of be together. And it's not just me. We crowdsource support in the comments and get to know each other. And we have a little community online on Facebook as well. And we're just trying to connect. Laura, I feel you. Yeah, online school, it is so hard. It is so hard. It's a privilege to still have work right now, and it's this learning curve with all this technology is a legitimate stressor. I know I've been talking with friends who their entire day is just filled with Zoom meetings, and that is just like no way to exist. It's really, really difficult. And so I think acknowledging that we're all really struggling with this medium right now is important. And trying to practice patience and compassion both for ourselves and for people in leadership. It's really hard. Um, oh God, chemistry. It is. Yeah, it is more work, online learning. So yeah, you're not crazy at all. It's more work. It's more work to teach it, and it's more work to learn it. It's hard. It's really hard. So practicing compassion. I mean, I would, check in with your instructors and say, what is, if I were to prioritize X, Y, and Z, my resources are limited. My brain resources are limited because we're in a global pandemic. What should I prioritize? What is the most important thing for me to take away from this? I've been trying out some like alternative ways of teaching, where I'll like assign podcasts to listen to, or just because it's hard. It's really hard trying to find new ways to, because sitting in front of a screen talking, there's a zone out point, I think there is for me. And so trying to find other ways to sort of combat that, or I don't know. So I'd be open to suggestions if anyone has suggestions. things that are working for you would be totally wonderful. I teach writers and production students who are about to graduate and go into the world this semester. Sometimes I teach acting, but not this semester. And then I also teach piano lessons to little ones. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Jaybird on Instagram. Fabulous. How's everyone doing? God, my back hurts. Let's see. What do today, it's interesting that our prompt from the end of last week was 5% more rest, because my back, I had to like 25% more rest all week because my back just wouldn't even hardly allow me to move. Let's see. Numra, I feel you on that. You know, we eat for a lot of different reasons, right? We of course eat for the nourishment, but eating for emotions and for comfort is a very real thing. And you know, I know it brings up a lot of anxiety, especially when we're trying to recover, and it's, you know, sometimes it's hard to tell, am I just eating for comfort? Is this a full-on binge? And I think that maybe this week our prompts can be practicing 5% more leeway for that kind of behavior, because emotional eating does serve a purpose, and I'm not saying that it's always good, but I also don't think it's always bad. I think it's a part of being human. Folks without eating disorders do it. Oh, Emma, I feel you. When my period is coming, yeah. Give your body what it wants. Give it what it wants. It's doing its thing. And I think just for me right now, just really reminding myself constantly, I didn't create the 5% more. I want to credit Sasha. Oh no, I'm gonna get her last name. Sasha Alexander. Is that her last name? She's a coach, and she offered that tool to me, and I just loved it. I just really loved it. So I did not come up with that, but I love it. Julia, 5% more. It's a thing I've been trying out on here. That was gifted to me, a tool that was gifted to me from this woman, Sasha, this coach, this wonderful coach and wonderful writer and creative human in the world, who encouraged me to practice 5% more of something that I was working on. And I thought, oh God, that's so great, because I don't know about you all, but if I do something, I have to do it. And I just love the ability to just gently kind of explore something. So last week we explored 5% more rest, and this week I think we could explore 5% more self-compassion and flexibility, maybe, or 5% more trust in ourselves. What do you guys respond to? Let me know, and we can, you can choose your own also. But I really love that, and just sort of, draw it on your mirror, put it a little Post-it note up, put it on the background of your phone. Just you remind yourselves. I love it because there's no checklist. Like, you can't know if you really failed, because you can't really fail at that. So I just think it's a really nice, gentle way to be mindful of a practice you want to kind of cultivate and bring into your life. So tell me what you want to do 5% more of this week, or 5% less of. Whoa, we could flip it. But this week was 5% more rest, and I had like 25% more rest because it's my stupid back. But when your body speaks, it's important to listen, and I had to, take it easy, and I like to kind of dance around my apartment sometimes and stretch, and I had to not do that kind of stuff, and I didn't, get out on walks because I just really needed to rest. Yes. So what else is going on? Folks? Yeah, great. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Yes, I love it. That's great, Nana, to be sleeping. You know, when I first started this, before quarantine started, I was really trying to get up earlier to start my days earlier. But now in this, I have just decided, you know what? I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep in until my body wants to wake up, and I'm just gonna do that. And it's usually been 10 to 11 a.m. every day, and I've just decided I'm good with it. Great. This is an opportunity because my work doesn't start until the afternoon. I can do that. That's fine, and I'm not going to punish myself emotionally for it. Uh-oh, I gotta sneeze. Achoo! We're good. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Sending love to you. I missed a couple of comments. I know I missed. Oh, thanks, Rain. I missed a couple of comments here. What did I miss? Oh, I love that, Jason. I think that's great. Yeah. Any way we can like shift our thinking from being black and white, from being right or wrong, I think is really, really great, because some of the biggest tenets of recovery are flexibility and being able to sort of exist in a more nebulous space. There's no right or wrong way to do it. We just have to, because real recovery is flexible. Sometimes it's emotional eating, sometimes it's eating a little more than you're comfortable with, sometimes it's you didn't eat quite as much. And there's no value judgment on it. It doesn't affect your self-worth. It's just living. It's just being a part of being a person in the world. Easier said than done, of course. All of it is. But that's the goal, right? So that our brains can be freed to do stuff that is actually fun and interesting, and using our immense capacity and brain power for good instead of evil. I know I should drink water first thing in the morning, but just Diet Coke sounded good, so that's what I did. Is there any new binge information about the quarantine episodes? Yes. So we have shot episode 1. You guys, I have no idea if they're going to be good. No idea. I have no idea. It's a real experiment because, I mean, as you're seeing on, Saturday Night Live and all of these talk shows, it looks really different when you're shooting on your phone at home. When you don't have an incredible, DP at your home with you, when you're super limited to the confines of your technology and your Wi-Fi. So we'll see. I mean, I love what we came up with on the page, and I think Danny Jacobs, and I think our intentions are good, and so we'll see what it is. I'm letting go of expectations of it being some sort of incredible thing, and we're just trying to offer you some content and some community and some laughs during these tough times. But because because there's a big technology curve that we're trying to figure out how to do all of this, and the editing is going to take a little bit of time, so it's probably going to be like mid-May when the first episode comes out, and we're hoping, we don't know exactly yet. Stay tuned. We're just feeling out we had to reshoot a bunch of stuff because our learning curve is high, and so we're hoping for in the next couple of weeks to release the first one. So we'll see how it is. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it takes, whoosh. It takes place during this whole time. So it's, the conceit is definitely over phones. But, we're filmmakers. We want it to look good, and we want it to feel like a real story. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see how it turns out. And if it's bad, you know what? We tried something, and not everything has to succeed, right? It's fine. It's fine if it doesn't. We'll see. We'll see. Hi, Kate. But if any of you are interested in spreading the word, oh, Jennifer, yeah, great question. If anyone is interested in, spreading the word and getting involved in sort of like a grassroots PR sort of thing for these COVID episodes, DM me on Instagram because we're putting together a little team, and I would love to have you in there. It would be great to have boots on the ground, because the goal is just to connect with people. Okay, let's stop talking about May, and let's support each other. I know I've missed things. Oh, I can scroll on Instagram. That's nice. Marina on Instagram, congratulations on 4 months purge free. That's incredible. I think those fears are completely normal, where we find some success and some groove and some, oh, I'm doing it, I'm doing recovery, and then you're like, oh shoot, what if it goes wrong? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I adopt a new symptom? I think all of that fear is totally part of it, and it's just maintaining the practice of listening to your body, of when you're unsure, going back to that meal plan, making sure your brain and your body are getting everything they need to be functioning, because we need to have that baseline of nourishment so our brains work if we're going to do the emotional unwinding of why we develop these habits in the first place, of dealing with the trauma and dealing with, being out in the world. We need our brains to be functioning right. So that is like the most important thing. And yeah, just knowing that even if you do have a slip up, even if you do feel like you took a step back, all of the work that you've done to get to that point in the first place, that's not going anywhere. That's there. And that will be there for you to rely on time and time again. It's a process of just trusting ourselves, trusting that we have all of these tools and that we can do it. I'm afraid of recovery. I feel like I'm the one constant. Right, Numera. Yeah, eating disorders are so seductive because they pretend that they're our friend, and they pretend that they have our backs, and they pretend that they give us something to hold on to, and they're false prophets, and they're liars, and they're cheaters, and they're really, really devious little shits. We develop, I'm not a doctor, but I've learned a lot. So we develop these synaptic, I'm probably saying that wrong, patterns in our brain, right? It's like when we're rolling, if we roll a ball down sand, and we keep rolling it, and that pattern, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And so it's easier for our thoughts to go there on that path that we're used to than on a new path, on sand that hasn't been dug in. And so it feels safer, and it feels more comfortable. It feels easier to go into that path than it is to pave a new one. And that's part of why it's so seductive to stay in the pain that we know, because it takes less mental energy to do that, even though it is a miserable experience to be living in. No, it makes sense, Stephanie. They do feel like they can feel like a person, but they're not. They're not a person, and they're not anything that can love you back. It was funny. I was looking through an old photo. I posted it on Instagram, on my Instagram, and it's me and 3 of my really dear friends from high school, and we're at the Minnesota State Fair. And I remember I just remember how focused I was on my eating disorder that day, and I'm sure I was binging, and I look back and I'm like, does my shape really impact my experience on that day? Looking back at that picture, do I remember, what the composition of my thighs was like? Was it important how much I consumed? No. What was important was I was spending time with these women who were awesome and doing this really fun thing and having this amazing day. And I have those memories, but I also have the memories of like those food thoughts, those intrusive food thoughts and behaviors. And it's really sad. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, I don't want to look back at pictures of this time and be like, yeah, I ate 2 handfuls of popcorn too many that night. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And it's hard for me to believe that all the time, but that's something I've been thinking about. I really also love and am responding to this idea of body neutrality, because I just can't love my body all the time. I just can't do it. But what I can do is say, my body is. The end. Just is. It's just a body, and I accept that my body is. That's all. It's not good or bad, it just is. My body is, and it allows me to do things. Because I think some of this body positivity stuff can put too much pressure on us to be, oh God, I love my curves, I love this, I love that. I don't always do that. Sometimes I do. It's cool. Yeah, I think it is very rebellious, and I don't know who started this body neutrality movement, but I think it's really cool. Jennifer, I feel for you, and it sounds like you need a support team that understands what you're going through a little bit better than your current support team does. Oh yeah, Jamila Jamil. She's amazing. Jennifer, keep fighting, and if you're feeling like, God, there's something off about the way I'm doing things, listen to that voice. Listen to that voice that is pushing you toward a greater level of recovery, because recovery is about freedom and flexibility, freedom from these thoughts, flexibility in our behaviors, and the ability to be in our lives and enjoy our lives and manage the struggles and the challenges of our lives without the majority of our brains focused on what we're putting in and whatever from our bodies, right? So I highly encourage you to find a support team that will understand what you're going through. And I know a lot of therapists are teleworking right now and doing sessions like this, and I just highly encourage everybody to do that. Yeah. What else is up? I'm sure I missed comments while I was blabbering on. Oh, my back. I slept on it weird, but oh well. Yes. Sending love, Nana. I think I missed your comment. I apologize. Yeah. Stacy on Instagram talking about the pressure that comes with the idea of body positivity versus body acceptance or body neutrality. Also, I feel like, and I don't know the politics of it completely, and I don't know the full history of it, but I get the sense that people with thin privilege, myself included, have sort of like co-opted this body positivity from a community who live in bodies that are not accepted by the mainstream, and that feels pretty fucked up. So I'm hesitant, and I'm sure I've done it in the past, body positivity, but I'm sort of like moving in a different direction because I don't necessarily know that. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah. My body, my shape changed very little during my whole journey with my eating disorder. Shape is a terrible indicator of health. It just is. It just is. And it's a shame that not all healthcare workers are up to speed with how that all works. The diet industry is massive and makes so much money off of fat phobia, and off of this culture of thin is better. And it's brilliant marketing, and it's devious as fuck. And it's wrong, just like scientifically. God, I watched this documentary and I'm gonna forget what it is called, and I don't think it's, oh wait, there's a question. Oh, chest pain. Okay, chest pain on YouTube. I would call a doctor. I don't know. I can't answer that question. But if you're worried about your physical health, I would absolutely call a doctor. Just make sure, just be safe, right? Better to err on the safe side, and just see what that is. So that's what I would recommend there. Oh, Lori, I feel for you. Is it, I wonder, Lori, this feeling of not being able to eat in the dorm room. I'm sure there's a lot of anxiety happening and uncertainty, and you're in a new space, and all of that can feel really overwhelming and really lead us to, we have these fight, flight, freeze responses, right? And I'm someone who definitely freezes. Oh, Carla, thank you for offering. Yeah, I wonder if I would be curious, Lori, to know a little bit more about your situation. Is it like the cafeteria that's hard? Is it cooking in your dorm? Are you able to do that? Oh, great, Carla. What is it exactly that we could kind of help you come up with? On our Binge Ambassadors Facebook page, our wonderful ambassador Cassie posted all of this stuff about grocery shopping and ideas to help you make that a little bit more more manageable. We just got a question about parents' behaviors feeding into or reinforcing eating disorders. I think that does happen. I mean, I'm lucky to have that not be my experience. My mom is incredible, and she's a nurse, and she's, when I started struggling with this, she did a ton of research and learned a ton about eating disorders. But I think we live in a fat phobic culture that, worships at this thin ideology, and it's broken and it's messed up, just like we're in a misogynistic world, a patriarchy, just like we're in capitalism, which is, in my opinion, a broken system. Just like we're in a world that values whiteness over any other color, just like we're in a world that values straightness over any other thing, that values a cisgender identity. It's all broken. It's all broken. And so, of course, we're going to be programmed to follow in that path, right? So I try to, when folks are in that sort of, cultured state of mind, that sort of fat phobic, thin worshiping mindset, I try to practice a little bit of compassion and forgiveness, because it's so hard to see that is programming. And we can't change everybody around us. All we can do is make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and practicing ourselves, our own health and our own recovery. Ava, yeah. Sending love. Yeah, there's so many more interesting things to talk about than the way someone's body looks, right? And that's what I try to come back to if I feel like anyone around me is getting caught up in this idea of shape talk, right? Lori, yeah, it is scary, and it's hard being in isolation. It's hard to find ways of accountability. I was brainstorming this earlier this week. I wonder if you have friends who could maybe who you could maybe tap into as specific supports, or maybe someone on here would be willing to do that. Some ideas I came up with, and I'm open to hearing yours, are, could you have like a standing lunch date with a friend where you just hop on FaceTime and you don't talk about food, don't talk about it, talk about Netflix, talk about whatever, talk about who you got a crush on, whatever, don't talk about the food, but you just like have a lunch chat and you just eat with someone and you just see them, and it's not about the food. It's never about the food, right? Actually, it's about having connection and companionship during that. Perhaps that was an idea I came up with. I don't know if it would work for you. Another idea could be texting photos of, oh, that's great, Carla. Yeah. Texting photos of your meals to a friend who can just give you a thumbs up to know that you did it, right? That was another idea I had. If going grocery shopping is stressful for you, I think it's stressful for everyone right now, quite frankly. I listen to podcasts that sort of calm me down or make me laugh. And I think that, hi Alexa. Oh, it's so nice to see you pop up here. Oh, that's lovely, Rain, going on an outdoor picnic. I think that's beautiful. What's Discord? Grandma Gallner doesn't know what that is. I'm not hip. What's Discord? Sounds like a good idea, but I don't know what it is. Oh, of course, Alexa. Yeah, let's, maybe I'll shoot you an email after this. It's so lovely to reconnect. Yeah, it can be really hard to eat in front of people, Emma, as part of recovery. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have a Facebook Binge Ambassadors group. Please join. I'm trying to make it a little more of like an active community that supports each other, because I'm just one person and you all have so much lived experience and strength and bravery to share, and I just, I want to open it up because I'm just one gal. How do I get over the shame of the ED? Oh man, shame is brutal, isn't it? Shame is, it is hard. And that is something I still very much struggle with. I was raised Catholic, so they love shame. Boy, maybe I'll try to do some research on shame this week. I know I said last week I'm part of a creative self-love group led by this beautiful artist, Ashley Tribune. And I know she's talking about shame this week, and I haven't had a chance to go through the lesson yet, but perhaps I'll be able to communicate some insights from that. I don't quite, I would be curious to know more about shame. Oh, Brene Brown, yeah. I'll be honest, I haven't read anything of hers. I need to. Brene Brown talks a lot about shame. Gosh, all I can say is I don't know about much about the psychology of it. I should, because I deal with it. But I know that for me, a lot of my eating disorder came from feeling like I was too much. I was too loud. I took up too much space. I was too embarrassing. And if I could make myself smaller, I would be less embarrassing. I would be less, I don't know. I would just be less embarrassing in the world. And I know that shame has been a component of that. And our culture wants women and people who don't fit, all people who don't fit like a very, very specific image to be smaller and to feel shame for the space we take up. And I guess I'm not landing on any sort of insight, except all I'll say is I understand that feeling, and I think a lot of us really share it. And I'm getting lots of recommendations on here for Brene Brown's Netflix special, so maybe that's what I'm going to watch tonight. Yeah, eating in secret, it's hard. You know, I really relate to that. I think in my eating disorder, I like eating became so emotional and so wrought that it was a time I was like, this is just mine. This is my thing that I control. This is my thing that I have. No one can touch this. And so secrecy and ritual became a big part of that. Um, but the thing is it is false. It's a false prophet. It's false control. Actually, it doesn't actually give us anything, that secrecy, what it takes from us, right? Because what I've rediscovered and what I'm constantly rediscovering and pushing myself and challenging myself to rediscover is that the social element of food is such a beautiful thing that I didn't get for so long, and that, is I really mourn that, sitting around a table with friends and family and just spending time together. It's a beautiful thing to strive for. So yeah, maybe even not even FaceTiming, right? Maybe it's just a phone call so that you're eating, but no one has to see it. Maybe that's a step. I don't know. Anyone else have suggestions? Um, um, let's see. Yeah, I think if you search Binge Ambassadors, you can find the group. And it's private because I just want to make sure that, I don't know, I want it to be a safe space, right? But if you request, I'll add you. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Amanda, gosh, commenting on shape. Oh, it's hard. It's really, really hard, especially when it's things that reinforce ED behavior. It's really, really hard. It's a moment to sort of stop and reframe and remind yourself that that person is speaking not about you and not about your value, but about something that they are probably struggling with, something that they have been cultured to think and to feel. And that that comment about shape actually isn't about you. Um, oh yeah, Jason, yeah. I feel for folks who struggle with OCD during this time, because it's gotta be brutal. And I'm sending you a lot of compassion, and I hope that you have a support network around you right now. I don't know, like, I've dealt with a little bit of that, but not in terms of, I deal more with cyclical thoughts and not in terms of like actual fear of contamination and things like that. So I don't know a ton about that, but I can offer compassion, and perhaps other folks on here have experienced and have managed those kind of feelings. But I always encourage support and asking for the help that you need. And it is a brave act, right? It is a super brave act to ask for help. It is hard to do, but we all deserve it. We're all going through something so hard right now. Oh, Jason, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I mean, this isn't something I normally struggle with, and I feel you in terms of like having to wipe down everything that comes into the house. It's exhausting, and it feels like oh good, I'm glad you're getting support. It feels like you can never do enough right now, right? So how do we practice thought flexibility and exposure therapy during a pandemic? I don't know. Black and white thinking, yeah, Numra, that's a big part of EDs. Yeah, I wonder this week, this idea, 5% more, maybe you can practice 5% more sort of flexibility with your recovery. C. Quigley on Instagram Live. Check out HLG's YouTube channel, because I posted a whole video sort of updating what's going on with it. But there's going to be some content coming your way very, very soon. So subscribe to HLG's YouTube channel so that you don't miss it. Yay! You can't find your group. DM me, Jennifer, and I'll figure out how to get you in. Yeah, 5% more love, 5% more compassion. Um, oh, Ava on Instagram struggling with her motivation was college in 2020. And of course, things are shutting down, and that's an exciting motivation. And now you're having to kind of pivot, right? And find a new thing to push you towards, to kick your butt into healing. What is motivating you to recover right now? All of you, I'm curious. What's motivating me to keep in my recovery and to keep practicing in my recovery is honestly these conversations that we're having, that I want to continue to be able to support others, and I need to be practicing what I'm preaching in order to really do that. It's that I'm really finding excitement and joy in writing right now, and I need my brain to be functioning well in order to do that. And I owe it to my brain to give my brain what it needs so that it can do it. Those are things that are motivating me. Nana, you're having trouble finding a therapist online, and I just want to send love and compassion for that. And I think looking for support groups and things like that, that's a great alternative in the meantime. And just keep pushing, keep fighting for yourself, and cultivating a support system for you. You're doing the right things. Keep fighting for that. If any of you have online support groups that you love that are open for people to join, I would love to hear about, or have you post them so that folks can access them, because we could all really use it, huh? I think so. Someone on Lori, I just want to send you a virtual hug. You're not a failure, Lori. You're not. I want to send you compassion, and you don't have to do recovery perfectly. You just don't. And I'm really sorry that, it's okay. You don't have to apologize for not doing well right now. It's totally fine. You are where you are, and that is just fine. And I just want to encourage you to give yourself compassion and acknowledge that this moment feels shitty, and this moment feels scary, and this moment feels maybe impossible. And that's how it feels, and that's okay. And the moment will also pass. Like at the beginning of my recovery, sitting with discomfort was like the biggest thing. Learning to sit with big feelings, learning to sit with feeling like a failure, learning to sit with feeling like every choice I had was impossible and wrong, and just learning to endure that, because I was using my eating disorder in the past to not have to feel those feelings. So just sitting with them and knowing that feelings pass and feelings change, and that we can survive them. Like Glennon Doyle says, like, we can do hard things. Set a timer for your feelings. That's really interesting. I like that idea. I got a message on Instagram, I just saw it, that quarantine can be triggering living with family. I imagine so. I imagine so. Yeah, it's hard to live with anybody for this long, right? I'm living with a fabulous partner who I love very much, and we still get on each other's nerves, We're not designed to exist like this, and so we're just doing the best we can to get through it, and to make the right decisions to help, the health and safety of our world right now. And we're doing big things, just staying inside. It's a big act of love and community to just endure. Hi Hadley. Am I doing all right? I am doing all right. I am doing all right. For me, I tend to cope with anxiety and stress by sort of like working. So I'm trying to practice more balance, and to practice more rest time and more play time, so that I'm not just working all the time. Oh, unabashed on Instagram Live. I'm sending you love and healing for what you are going through right now. I know that for me, oh, Numra, yeah, that's very interesting. That's a very different lived experience than I have, and that I think a lot of us here have. I'd be curious to learn more about it. For me, I'll have like 3 good days, and then I'll have a really, really bad day where I'm just bumming. I miss you too, Hadley. It's great to connect with you. And I'm just sort of like riding that wave, you know, and trying to be okay with it. I'm fortunate to have work right now and to have things that excite me. So I've got it pretty good right now. I've got it pretty good. I've got big windows, a dog. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I really feel for you all of us. I feel for all of us who are moving through this, and it's hard, and I'm sending love. New Jersey ED support is really good. Oh, great. Making recovery my bitch. I love that. I hope we didn't steal that catchphrase from that person. I didn't know another one had it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Oh, great. Getting rid of scales. Tips on getting rid of scales. Yes, get rid of them. Get rid of them. Hey, maybe we can all do that today. Any folks who have one. Just get rid of it. Doesn't matter. Or put a little piece of tape over the number and make it say, who the fuck cares? Or like, I love I Weigh. Jamila Jamil's whole thing where I weigh all of the things that are amazing, right? Let's see, I just got a bunch of comments. It's painful to think about my body and food every single day. Yeah, it is painful to be so in that cycle of shape determining worth and food intake determining worth. It sucks. And I so relate to that feeling of exhaustion. Yeah, unabashed. I do think that getting support in an official capacity, yeah, I highly recommend it. I did it. It saved my life, and I'm so grateful that I was able to get treatment. Hey, if it's too stressful to get rid of it, Mickey, you don't have to do it today. You don't have to. Maybe don't get rid of it. Maybe don't. Maybe put a piece of tape over it that says, Angela loves you. That's it. You don't have to get rid of it. You don't have to. If it's too much, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. There's no right or wrong way to do this. We're just getting through, and we just have to make the next best choice that we are capable of making. And we're not always capable of it, right? We just do what we can. Date Coke. Lori, I think it's great that you know what you want from your therapist. And I think that I would recommend starting with that. Starting with, here's how I'd like you to support me today. And say, I'd like you to listen. I don't want you to intervene. And ask her, can you do that for me? Right? And if she says yes, great, dive in. If she says no, say, okay, well then let's talk about something else, because the way I need you to support me today is this, right? Oh, whoosh, that's really hard. Oh, that's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard to have a roommate have a scale and they won't take it to their room. I wonder why. I would be curious as to why. I wonder if your roommate would be open to you covering the number up. If not, I guess it's a challenge in what happens if you don't step on it. Or what happens if you really slow down the process of getting on the scale. This was a technique that Annie Grace talks about in her book, This Naked Mind, which is actually about alcohol, but I find it interesting for sort of anything. So what are the steps to getting on the scale? You walk to it, you step on it, you look down, you wait, right? So what if you open the door to your bathroom and wait? And just wait there for a couple of minutes. Explore, what does this feel like? What are my impulses? What are the thoughts in my head? You stand next to the scale, wait. Wait for 5 minutes, right? Just wait. What do I feel? What is the anxiety? What are my expectations? Put one foot on the scale, wait. Put another foot on the scale, but close your eyes, wait. Count to 100. Then open your eyes, wait. Slowing it way, way down. So it's not something we're doing unconsciously, right? So it's something we're slowing down and investigating. Not saying you can't do it, just slow it down and explore it, right? Oh, Marina, I know that game. Ooh, that game. No one wins that game. Isn't that funny that we play these games we can't win? And I like winning. Can't win it. That sucks. Yeah. I mean, it's silly, but I get it. And I've been there. Maybe put a sticker on it, or slow that old process down. Yeah. Oh, shoot! I wish I could. I wish I could respond to everybody. It's like I don't get messages and then I get a bunch in a row and then they disappear and it's hard to see them all. What game? The game of I can only get rid of my scale when it says XYZ number. No one can win that game because it's never going to be the right number. And that number doesn't mean anything. But I totally get it framing how your day feels. Absolutely. God, why do we give this little box so much power? Like, it doesn't even have a brain in it. Samantha, I'm sending you love. And maybe it's not a relapse. Maybe you're having a couple of slip-ups, and after this call today, you can do one thing that's oriented in your recovery. If you feel like you're not recovery minded right now, can you take 5 minutes out of every day to be in your recovery? Just 5, just a little bit. Then you can go back to whatever nonsense that eating disorder is shouting at you. And we can come back to this idea of 5% more. Can you practice 5% more recovery today? You don't have to do the whole day, just 5%, just a teensy weensy, right? Just a little bit. And again, that's not something I created. That's something this wonderful woman, Sasha, introduced me to, and it's been helping me so much. All right, folks, I could stay on here all day, but I'm trying to reserve Sundays for me and my partner so that I'm not doing my thing, which is working all the time to avoid my feelings. So I am going to, and I'm working on boundaries. That's what I'm working on. And so I said that I would, disengage at 11. And so I got to do that. I love you all very, very much. You're all amazing. And so what are we practicing this week? We're practicing 5% more what? 5% more what are we practicing? 5% more... What do you guys want to... 5% more time with recovery. 5% more time with recovery. That's it. Just 5% more. Yeah. All right. I love you all. I can't wait to hear how your 5% more went this week. And if you're not subscribed to HLG Studios YouTube channel, that's where we do this every week. I'm going to try to keep doing it on Instagram now that I figured out that I can. That's great. But if you're subscribed to HLGs, you'll never miss a binge update, and there's exciting stuff coming. And again, if you want to get more involved, DM me on Instagram at Binge the Series or at Angela Gullner. Yeah. Cool. You're all fabulous. You're all amazing. And your shape does not determine your worth. And your body just is. It's not good or bad. It just is. Okay. Love you all. Oh, now it's the game of how do I sign off? Okay. Mwah.